Hi everyone, I'm back and I'm here with Peggy Services and Hazel's Custom Drapes. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing fantastic, and thank you for allowing me to be on your show today.
Absolutely, thank you for coming.
Okay.
Custom Drapes, I'm sure everyone has a need, and there's so many things out there these days. I know, they cover the gamut of things, from just drapes, what you think, to different types of blinds, shades, all things like that. But tell me a little bit about yourself first.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised here in Houston, Texas, and I became a single mom and started my first business. I started was a cleaning service, and it was called Peggy Services. I started it in 1988. And then my mother passed away about 18 years ago, not 14 years ago. She owned her business called Hazel's Custom Drapes. She did the blinds, the shutters, and the drapes. So I inherited that business, and I do it to honor her. I continue to do making people's homes beautiful and unique. So that's what I do now. So I provide custom draperies, but we also provide shutters, blinds, shades, all different kind of things I take out to their homes.
The main reason you stayed in the business is kind of honor your mom.
Yeah, to honor her, and because she raised 6 kids by herself, and it's a good business. I mean, it's a awesome business, and you selling homes, so people need that service. They need someone to come in and give them. Me as a designer, I'm also a designer, so I come in and give them some ideas of what they can do. Like if they have a lake in the back, they might not want to put blinds in the back. They might want to put some shades where they can be able to look out. So we have a solar roller shades. We have other kind of shades that I can offer them, so I can give them ideas. So I suggest as a designer that when a person buy a home, that they would go ahead and use a designer first before they start just putting things on their windows, because it's important. You might put something that you're gonna have to replace, so you don't want to waste that money. And a lot of people like to put the shutters in the front. I try to, it all depends on the homes. If they like over 300,000, I suggest they put shutters in the front of the house, because it just helps the house keep its quality of the home. And most people know when you have shutters or when you have what you have on your windows. They pay attention. Our people pay attention to what's going on. They know, oh, she got shutters. She spent some money.
The 2-inch faux blinds, or you actually put on the plantation shutters and actually spend.
Shutters, yes, ma'am. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those, they last forever. Really, because drapes and things, certain things. I think even with the plantation shutters, I feel like even my own home, we put curtains over it, kind of
soften
just
it.
to soften it, and then tie in the other colors in the house. So that's what you can change. If you get sick of just the plain white or the plain brown, you can change the drapes on it, right, to kind of tie in the rest of your house. So I find that the part that kind of eye catching for people.
Yeah, because custom drapes really completes the home. Most people don't understand. Once you get blinds, don't complete the home. So you have to go back and just put some drapery colors and bring in some more colors. I put the hardware. I also bring the installer. I do the whole thing. I come into the house. I bring them fabric samples. I have them pick out the hardware, and then I give them their quote. Then I come back and I make sure that they get that quality service, because I come back to make sure that they're happy. We bring in everything, and then to see the little fabric that they pick out, to see it go up on an 18-foot windows, it's just like wow, so it make that wow for the people, and they enjoy it, and I enjoy what I do. I just enjoy what I do.
So do you partner with interior designers and people like that to kind of tie in what they've done with the home, or do you have them do that first and then you come in and do the drapes and blinds, or how does that work?
Well, sometimes, I am a designer too, but sometimes other designers, they will call me out because they don't do window treatments. And I'm starting to make them understand how important window treatments are, because they're like, well, people don't really need draperies. I'm like, well, the draperies are what kind of complete the home, So they're starting to realize that that's something people need. They might just want top treatments. They might just want, they don't want the long drapes, and they don't want the swags. They might not be older, so most people are going to this They just like to have beautiful and unique looking stuff. They don't go back to the swags and stuff like we used to have back in the day. Because I'm in, I'm older, so I've been in this for a while. So now everybody just wants something
The
simple.
tassels and the stuff they're hanging out there.
They don't want all that no more. They just want something simple but elegant, but bringing that color, and that's what I come into. Just give them that color and give them that pop to let them just.
I know you brought some samples for us. Why don't you show us some stuff?
Well, I did bring a few samples. Well, this is how when I go out to a home. Okay, so I have all types of fabric books. So what I do is just bring out, this right here is called faux silk, so it's not real silk. So what I do is I just bring out different fabric books and just have my clients pick out what they want, and then I would make sure it's done. We sit down and we play with the fabrics for a little while. Also, I let them know about the hardware, so I bring in the different hardware that they can buy from me, so I do that. I just go from step by step to whatever. If they want to put the solar roller shades, because now the solar roller shades are really in, and people, you can see out, like they have the 1%. 1% blocks out 99% of the UV ray, and then have the 3% that blocks out 93%. They can go all the way up to, I think it was 18%, because some people want to just look straight out and they can see the trees, but they don't want to block that UV ray from coming in.
They still want there to be light in the house, but not be completely dark. Or in a bedroom, you might want complete blackout.
Yeah, they could do the blackout, but I try to get some people. I'm like, do you really want blackout? Because you ain't gonna know it's morning. You might want 1% because it's saying good morning instead of just completely blackout, because you'll just sleep all the way through.
Well, that's how you set an alarm or something, right?
Well, as people, we don't be wanting to. Well, if it's dark, I'm just going to sleep all the way through. So I kind of give them an idea. If they're not a doctor, or they're not a nurse, most people need to want to get up. Yeah. Even if they say they have babies, I have people say, I have babies and I want to have a blackout. But you really want them to be able to know it's morning. So just that little 1% peeping through there, it's like, hello, it's morning time, and then you can raise it up and it can just be the whole window. So it's just a lot of things we can do. A lot.
For me, I'm one of those people that sleeps with an eye mask, and I can't sleep without it. So blackout shades and an eye mask for me.
Oh, wow.
I want to be in a deep sleep when I sleep, because I'm always on the go.
Well,
so when I get into that, I need to be in like complete darkness, complete quiet, the noise going in the background, the white noise machine.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I have to set myself up for sleep. But I think during the day when I'm showing houses and things like that, there's a lot of people that really want to see that brightness in a home. And so some people put the really dark shades on there. And even if you open them, it seems like it doesn't allow as much light in.
Unless they raise it all the way up. It all depends. Like some people want the solar roller shades, and then some of them want this. These right here are honeycomb shades. So the honeycomb shades, they also have them where they might just raise up from the bottom, but they also have them where they raise top down, bottom up. So if a person is not completely dressed, they just want to drop it from the top, and they just have their head showing. It's a way to bring in the light into that. There's just so many products that people don't know about.
I want you to open that up.
Well,
and see,
it's just show you. Well, it's just different. I mean, I don't sell a whole lot of these shades. I kind of focus on, let's go to the solar roller shades, and the reason why is because the honeycomb shades, if you have to raise them all the way up, or you're going to have to bring them all the way down. But if you had the solar roller shades, which I do have a book, I think I have a book in here of the solar roller shades, maybe not, yes I do. So the solar roller shades, you can kind of see, this is solar roller shades, so you can kind of see out a little bit. So it's more
but you
clean.
still have to roll them all the way up.
Well, you have to roll them all the way up, but if a person wants to do like a 1%, let me see if I can find a 1% or so. No. So they have different ones. This one here, you have to roll it all the way up, but still, if you get one like a 1% or 3%, you can see the trees, you can see out, and you don't never have to raise it up if you don't want to. But if you want to raise it up, you can get all the whole view of the window in the backyard or whatever, if you have a pool in the back. Or
why are they called solar?
That blocks out the UV rays.
Okay.
So the solar roller shades blocks out that heat and makes the house cool.
Energy efficient.
Yeah, so most people want that. They want the house to be cool, and they want to be able to look out. I'm doing a lot of the younger people like in their 40s and 30s, and they got the little kids, so they want to have the cordless shades, but they can raise it all the way up, and they like the solar water shades because if their children touch it, if they get something on it, they can just wipe it off with some water and just, but if they use the honeycomb shades, if they put anything on it, they get something, some food or anything on it, completely throw it away. So people are getting smarter now. They just like.
What's the cost difference between like the solar shades and like a honeycomb?
I can't give you that answer because it all depends on the different names, because they have different colors, and then the colors have a different name, so that's how the prices go.
Okay.
So what I do is when I go out, I take all the measurements, we pick out what we want, and then I had to go inside my...
Well, meaning not maybe direct price. Obviously, you don't have measurements of my house, but I'm like, is it 20% more to get the solar shades as opposed to the honeycomb? You know, kind of just the differences. I understand that brands are different.
Yeah, I think about 15% difference. I'd say about that.
Okay.
Yeah. But shutters are way more than that.
Well,
you know
that. But shutters is when you go to a whole nother level, right?
Yeah, but still, shutters are something that I would choose, because in my house I put shutters all the way all around my house, and I did the 4.5% because I'm getting wood versus a PVC or some fabric. I'd rather have the shutters and then come back, and I came back and put my window treatments on the side, my drapes to soften it.
So a lot of people are going to do shutters, like maybe do it all on your first floor, because that's what everybody's seeing, and then anything facing the street.
Yeah,
right?
Everything facing the street should be uniform. And that's what I get people. If you're going to put blinds, if you're going to put shutters, or even if you're going to do shades, everything needs to be uniform in the front or in the back of the house. You don't want to have blinds here, and then I have shades here, and then I have just too much. So I try to keep them kind of, let's stay with the flow of the house. And then the same thing, if you have the bottom floor of the house, you want to keep the colors flowing. So you don't want to start with purple and then you're going to go to black. You'd have to be like, come in between and like add, if you're going to start with purple all the way through the house, I'm just saying if that's what they want to use, then they need to bring in other colors before they get to the black. Like they might have to bring in some with some black inside that fabric instead of just jumping straight to black. So I had to get them to kind of calm down. Okay, we're going to calm down. We're not going to go way over there. Everything has to flow all the way through your living room, dining room, and your office. Everything that's on the first floor, it needs to flow.
Yeah, because you don't want anything like, I mean, it's too abrupt when you come in. Even like, let's say I'm preparing someone's home for sale and they have all the accent walls and the things like that. I mean, it's really pretty, I get, but when people are looking at your home, I try to explain that it's easier to just walk through the home and just have one seamless thing. You don't want anything to be so eye-catching that it distracts, that people, when they go to look at the house, they're like, oh, it's the house with the purple wall, or it's the house with the red wall, you know, and that's how they identify your house, or the house with the huge chandelier. You want it to be very uniform and normal looking. Not boring. My clients are like, you want it just boring looking. I'm like, no, not boring. I mean, but when you're looking at something online, when you're going to buy the house, you want it to look like you can see yourself putting your own colors, your own touches in there, so making it more neutralized. I agree with that. Is great for that visual for people.
Yeah, so when I actually go into a new home buyer's home, I know that most people stay in a home about 6 to 8 years or whatever. So I try to give them that idea of, hey, you're going to want to sell this house. You'll sell your house faster if you would do X, Y, Z. So I would tell them like, hey, let's just stay with all shutters in the front. They stay with some neutral colors because people need to see themselves moving in. So I even give them that kind of idea, and they be like, you're right. I mean, if this is not going to be their permanent house, if this is going to be your permanent home, let's do whatever you want. But we still want to make sure that it's uniform because I need referrals. I don't need you saying you had a designer. Peggy came in and they're like, she gave you what? She let you do, I never call her. So I'm going to make sure, I make sure that they get something that, hey, that it compliments me and compliments them, but it's their home. I don't go in like most designers and tell people what to do today. What's your colors? I'm not going to make you, this is not my house. This is your home. So I'm coming in to make you happy and give you what you want, but just give you my suggestions and the reasons why. Sometimes I always tell people, I wouldn't do this because. Now, this is your decision, but this is the reason why you shouldn't do this. Yeah. Because some of them, they just don't know. They want contemporary, but then they got all this traditional stuff, but they said, but I want it to be like this. So we had to tie everything in. By the time I finish with them, they'd be very happy.
Well, that's why I think even with, if you do the shades or the blinds or even the shutters, you can still have your own flair and your own taste to it by adding some drapery, some curtains in front of that to kind of add the pops of colors and things that when you do go to sell, you can just take the drapes off and you can just make it just plantation shutters, plain and neutral, So you can still, tie in the things, with, because I see people that are liking the patterns are kind of back now. A lot of people are putting in the patterns and the wallpaper. And
wallpapers are back. I'm surprised it came back.
It came back.
They all go away. I do a lot of Cornish boards now. Cornish boards had left for about 20 years, and now people want those Cornish boards. They want, especially if they got a contemporary house, they just want it straight, a straight board with just a little fabric on it. And some people don't like fabrics because they may have allergies or whatever, but they need to have some kind of color over those blinds or shutters, right? And now they're doing just the plantation shutters, but they're not doing the one with the bar in the middle. They're doing the one that's more, it's called a clear view. So all they do is, it looks more contemporary.
Yeah.
So they like that one more. And then they can see out. They don't have that destruction of seeing everything with that bar in the middle. So the younger people are kind of sticking with that. And still they say, but I want a plantation shutter. I said, this is a plantation shutter. It just don't have the bar in the middle. And you get to see that whole view, and they love it. I sell a lot of shutters.
Yeah.
And I sell a lot of shutters and shades.
You have shutters with you.
Yeah, I have shutters, but I do have a brown one. I don't have a white one, but this one is called the Clear View. This is one I wanted to say that you can just take your hand and you just open it up. When you open it up, and this is just a 3.5 inch. So you can get the 3.5 inch, 2.5, and 4.5 inch. And I don't charge no more for whatever size they decide they want to do. But this is, and then it has this molding all the way around it, so it looks like a door, and you could open it up like a door as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so people really love what they see. So.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. Like, I mean, plantation shutters, and I think most people, like, they don't have that stick in the middle anymore, so it kind of helps with the view.
But some people want the stick. Some people, the older people, I like that stick.
Because that's more, I guess, what they're accustomed to.
More traditional, because they like that traditional look. So
that's what they're accustomed
to. They want the old look, so they get it.
And it's easier, I guess, to.
I just give them whatever they want. I just give them my opinion. I don't try to take over. I try not to. But it's very hard because I really like what I do. But sometimes I have to just step back, and sometimes I have to say, just don't do that because some people just don't know.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they just think this is what I want, and then I have had people that I gave them exactly what they wanted, and then we had to come back and redo it. And so I try because then they're like, I should have listened to you. Like, yeah. But sometimes you have to step back because it is their home. You have to say,
yeah. I mean, it's always advice. You can give them advice and offer advice and opinion, but it's also just whatever they prefer.
Just my opinion, but yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming on the show today, Peggy, and I know that was a lot of information on drapes and stuff, but please tell everyone areas you service and how they can get a hold of you.
Well, I serve all Houston area and the surrounding areas, and also I do some work in Dallas and Austin. I just came back from Chicago, so I'm gonna be working in Chicago as well. So I just go all over, and they can reach me by just going to my website, peggyservices.com, and they can call me at 832-720-2843, and I'll be happy to serve them.
Awesome.
And thank you, Dena.
Great. Thanks for coming again.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our next guest.